Hi again, this is Liz from FCK.FM, bringing to you the best from past, present and future hard rock and heavy metal. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell and give us a like here on our YouTube channel. Also, if you got any comments or questions, please share them down there in the comment section. So, right now we're here in the backstage in Munich, again with Jay from Kataklysm. Thanks again for being with us.
Absolutely.
We're right now talking about the future of your band, of Kataklysm. So, did you guys already start writing on the new record?
Yes, it's actually very close to being done.
Oh wow!
We have like a lot of good new songs. It's we're introducing some new elements to our music. It's really dark, really heavy, and like I was saying on the other part of the interview, it's really like we went completely not politically correct. We went very intense and very brought up some dark subjects, and we're like I like what Maurizio wrote as far as lyrics, because he stirs the pot a little bit of what's going on in the world right now, and I think it's good to do it, and feels good to do it because there are so many things going on that are wrong, and it's as artists it's nice when you have the possibility to call out some of these things. So I mean, we're not politicians or anything, and I hate politics, but like I think it's important sometimes to make a point or make a stand on certain things. But it's all there on the record, and we're very proud of it.
And from the sound, what can you expect?
Sound is really monstrous. I actually signed to receiving some mixes this week, and I don't want to say too much, but it's so heavy.
So we're getting all the secrets from Kataklysm right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Your albums after your breakthrough, Shadows and Dust in 2002, were mostly very successful. How do you deal with the pressure to always get something new, something better?
It's like that. It's that thing where, as an artist, I think like when I talk to a lot of other people in other bands, a lot of them would say like I love touring more, or I love the energy of live. Me personally, I love writing music, and this is one of my passion, and I love sitting down at home and trying to figure out a way to come up with new ideas that are working together with the concept of what we are as a band and stuff like that, and it's this thing that drive that wants you to push yourself to 200% and do the best possible piece of art that you can do, and just I'll spend hours. I'm a studio rat, and I'll sit there and just try to come up with a lot of this thing. And I think the guys in my band, they're really hard workers. We all are, and all of us together we come up with brilliant things sometimes, and it's just that thing about pushing yourself to the max, to the edge, and keep doing better, because you do something great and you're like, when you start writing a new album and the pages are white and you start from zero, and you're like, what am I going to do, because some of the stuff was really good on the previous one.
Exactly like that.
But then try to push those thoughts away and just go for it and do better. And somehow it works for us. Like, I don't really know exactly how we do it, but we put in the work, and the music comes out, and we're very happy.
I can imagine it very hard if you start from zero, writing a new album to get this creativity.
I can understand like say a writer that writes a book or a movie script or something. You start with nothing, and you're like, okay, what are we gonna do now? And it's great in a way because all the possibilities are open.
Right. Yeah.
And at the same time, it's scary. It's like you spend 2-3 hours until the page is still white, and you're like.
So how do you get it? How do you usually
you get inspired for many things. Like sometimes it's a movie, or even if you're watching a movie and then you hear like a little part of the soundtrack that clicks something, you're like, you're like a note progression or a chord progression, and then you think, I can do something with this, and then you start messing around with it, and you put some guitars to it, and see like some stuff comes to life, and you're like, yeah, that works. And sometimes like I'll write something really simple that I wouldn't even think that riff would make it to the record, but because of what the others bring, like the drum beats idea, the bass like and everything together. Like, man, this is so good. And then yes, it does make it. Sometimes it becomes like the best songs or the most popular ones on the record. And it starts with a very basic, simple idea. That,
sometimes it works.
Yeah. By itself, it's like doesn't mean much, but together, in the end, suddenly it sounds amazing. So.
So, in your long career, are there any special moments that you always keep in mind that you won't ever forget?
I think it's always the first time you do something. Like say, for me in my career, if I go back, like way back, first time I get out of Canada playing a show, and then it's first time I go overseas in Europe playing a show, and then first time you play a big summer open air, like, wow, because as growing up as a Canadian, like you don't comprehend that these things exist, like those big, like 50,000 people watching metal bands all day. It's insane. And the first time we experienced that, we're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And then like, I think it's every first step you take, and there's always new stuff that happens every year, like or visiting some really cool countries. Again, first time I went to South Africa, first time in Japan, first time like it's so foreign, and then you learn the culture, you see what it looks like, you taste the food, you talk to the people, like, and it's such a cool learning experience. And these are the good moments for me throughout the career.
Do you even have time to experience all the countries where you've traveled to?
Not always, which is sad, but I try my best to, like, whenever we go somewhere, I try to at least have a day off or two, so we can do something, visit a little bit.
That's cool.
I think it's important because we get the chance to do it. Not many people do, and if you're there, like, why not take an extra day to see things and do stuff?
That's cool that you do that.
Yeah.
Like makes a great experience for you.
Yeah, totally. I think it's the perks of playing music. It's traveling the world, meeting a lot of cool people, and you have to embrace it and enjoy it.
Totally.
Like, I don't understand bands that stay at the hotel or the backstage for the whole time and don't even look outside the window to see what's going on.
So coming from Montreal in Canada, Canada has always traditionally had fantastic rock and metal bands. The scene always was really great. So how is it right now? How's death metal scene right now in Canada?
It's still super strong. I find sometimes it's even stronger than some cities in the US. There's a lot of talent also as far as bands. There's a lot of Canadian bands doing well at the moment. It started in the 80s with Voivod. That's kind of paved the way for a lot of other bands to come out, and nowadays we're still around, and you have bands like Despise Icon, you have The Agonist that's doing well from Montreal, and Beneath the Massacre, there's Beyond Creation, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out of Montreal, but there's also a ton of bands and musicians that are great that nobody heard about, and they're there and they're making noise back home. We have fans that supports them, local shows and stuff, and it seems that the fans are supporting their local scene, so that's also a cool thing.
It's a great thing, yeah. Not every band in the world that happens.
Yeah, I'd say I think it's a good market for metal, and anyone in the band should try to experience playing Canada, because it's a cool place for metal for sure.
Are there any new bands in Montreal, Canada, or in that area that you would like to tell us about? Personally?
Personally, I know so many names, it's so hard to think of one right this second. But I'd say, like I mentioned, maybe Beyond Creation. It's the latest thing that's doing well, and just check them out. It's very technical. For those who like the technical stuff, it's pretty impressive.
So right now I want to talk to you about digitalization of music industry. It's always
that's always a subject.
So you know the music scene from the time back then, and you know the music scene right now. So what do you think about it? What did change since then, and what advice would you give young bands to make it in the music business right now?
Okay, I think we went through so many steps in the process throughout our career, because when we started it was really the old days with like the vinyl cassettes and the CDs. CDs were even kind of new when we started, and then eventually then the Napster thing happened, and the first platforms that were able to rip off. You would rip the MP3s, and then that changed the business quite a bit. And then now it's like the streaming, the streaming sites like Spotify and Apple Music and all that. And I think you just have to go along with it. And as an artist, your job is not necessarily to find a way to promote your music. It's about just making good music, and then having the fans access the music. I think the way it's set up right now, it's easy for fans to access the music, which is a good thing. For sure, like the way you get compensated for it has changed, and you have to do it in other ways. And then for us, it's really much based on the live, and we just play more shows to make up for the loss. But it's not a big problem because we love playing live, so and more people need to know the music, and it's somewhat of a win-win. I think they're trying to work it out so things get better for artists. There was something with Apple; they were trying to find a way to pay artists more, but then other streaming engines were against it, and I guess they battled in court. I don't know what happened with that yet, but it's a shame in a way. I'd like to see it getting better, and I think it will get better. I think we're in the early stage. We're in the dark ages, and things are gonna go in a way that's more fair for everyone. But I'm not against progress. I'm all for progress, and I want like I said, what matters in the end is the art you make, and unless you're like a superstar, you're not making millions from CD sales anyways. So for me, the way I see it, I'm happy as long as I can get some sort of recording budget to be able to create the art in a way that is nice and good sounding. More and more with the years, it gets more accessible and more affordable to do so, and within your own means. So if you're a new band starting, I'd say as an advice, it's learn about that technology, learn how to record yourself, learn how to produce your own records, because the more you do on your own, I think the more it's going to be authentic, and then the more you can spend the money you have on other things that matters, like promoting, playing concerts outside of your cities, and just traveling and trying to promote your music as much as you can. And so if you're able to produce the music on your own for a smaller budget, then you have your money open for other stuff. And that's what I would do if I would start this today. That's what I did back in the day, but it was absurd the amount of money you needed to buy equipment. But I kind of started slowly and bought my stuff. So I got some really high-end old school stuff. It's expensive, but nowadays with a good computer, a good microphone, and a good software, you can do a lot. And that's why I tell musicians, just push yourself and learn all this stuff and do it yourself. And the other thing I'd say is don't try to copy the current trend. Just go with your own instinct, your own feel, and write music for yourself that you're happy about. And usually when you do something like that, other people like it as well. And you'll find somebody that's going to be
authentic.
Yeah, exactly, be authentic. I think if you're trying to be a copycat, most of the times it doesn't work because there's already bands doing it.
Yeah, sure.
So you have to bring something new to the table and fresh and authentic, and I think that's what you have to do.
Do you think it's harder right now to become seen or to get the attention?
It's hard. It's really hard, but at the same time, if you have the right music, the right attitude, the right presentation, and everything's done right, there's people out there that are going to listen and they're looking for talent like that. It's just that you gotta rise above everything else, and it's a little bit of a battle. But I think if you're love what you do, you're really 200% in it, just why not go for it? See what happens, and if it doesn't work, at least you tried and you did what you love. And music's about doing what you love at the end of the day.
Right, yeah.
And I think it's personal to every artist. And yeah, it's takes.
That's great advice, thank you. So actually the last word is on you. Anything that you want to share with our viewers here?
Yeah, we just want to say a big thank you, especially to the fans in Germany, because such a strong support throughout this super long career that we have. It doesn't even felt like it was that long, but it's crazy. A big thank you for the support and being there for us, album after album and tour after tour, because it makes everything possible, and it's the reason why we keep coming and do this, is because we know we're going to come and have the support, and it feels great, and it makes artists' dream come true, being able to live from music, and it's awesome. So thank you.
So
thank you for the interview.
Thank you so much for being with us today. So this was our interview with JF from Kataklysm. Thanks again for joining us here in Backstage in Munich, and also thank you guys for watching. And also please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and please share your comments on today's episode. And also stay tuned for other interviews that are coming up in the next months, and we're looking forward to share them with you. Bye.